welcome to City Sabbath. My name is Paul. This is my backpacking partner and son Elijah, and my other backpacking partner and brother-in-law Russ Schafel. Today we are at Russ's place in the Bitterroot Valley of western Montana. To our left are the beautiful Bitterroot Mountains that we're going to be heading into actually tomorrow. Now, for those of you that are just tuning into City Sabbath, remember our mission here is to help equip city dwellers with the skills they need to find Sabbath rest in the silent and secluded places of the wild, where we're going to be heading out just tomorrow. What we wanted to do today on our video is to share with you what we have prepared for an 11-day, 10-night, 115-mile point A to point B through hike in the Bitterroot Mountains. We want to kind of go over how we have prepared to feed ourselves on this epic journey. My son Elijah is going to start talking about breakfast foods.
Yeah, so for breakfast, we're going to eat every morning 2 packets of instant oatmeal. This stuff's great. It's high in calories. This apple cinnamon stuff, it's 130 calories. The maple brown sugar is 160. Good calories, tasty. We'll each eat 2 a morning. It'll give us a good start to the day. But on top of that, we also are going to have these little goo packets. They're called Hoppy Trails. They got 100 calories in them. Get us that energy in the morning that we need to continue our hiking and our exploration. So we got about 300 calories here, 100 calories here, and then we have coffee and like this mocha stuff. So the mocha is 100 calories as well, and then the coffee. So total here we've got about 100, 200, plus 300, that's about 500 calorie breakfast. That'll get us a really good start to the day. And calories are really important when you're hitting a multi-mile trip. You need those calories to keep going, especially when we're doing an 11-day trip. It's a long, long trip, so we got to have a lot of calories to keep up with that. And last thing I just want to talk about is Ziploc bags. You want to have these. They're important to keep your stuff together. We like to use these just kind of portion out our food so we know about how much we're going to have. And we actually use these to portion out our lunches too. So you're going to talk about lunch.
Yeah, so Elijah talked about 500 calories a day in the breakfast. He's a guy who needs to worry about every calorie because he's got 0% body fat. I can live on this reserve for several weeks, so I'm good without calories. But all that being said, so for lunch, we wanted to have a lot of calories because that's going to be the bulk of our miles. We're going to be hiking in the early morning after breakfast. We're going to try to get our miles done as early as we can. Our longest day is 14 miles. We got 10 summits we're going to do, so we're going to be burning a lot of calories. So for lunch, we've got good old-fashioned ramen noodles. We've packaged 2 ramen noodle packages in one Ziploc bag. There's about 370 calories per ramen noodle lunch. So each get 1 of those a day. And then on top of that, we've created our own trail mix. So we've got some royal nuts, we've got sunflower seeds, and then M&Ms. We're going to eat 2 ounces of that a day, which is about 400 calories versus worth of trail mix. And then on top of that, we're also bringing along a granola bar and a half a day. These granola bars are somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 calories a piece. And so we've got a whole lot of calories. Mix that in with just your occasional handful of jerky. We're looking at about, and then some mixed nuts and mixed fruit, other things we might carry along. 800 to 1,000 calories a day we're going to try to pound while we're on the trail, eating as we go, finger food. And when we need to take a break, that's when we'll stop and boil up some of these ramen noodles. Next, we're going to talk about dinner. And Russ is the expert dinner guy since he prepared all of our meals on this trip from home in the homemade way. So Russ, tell us about what we're going to eat on this trip.
Yeah, well, so when you're backpacking, weight is a concern. Yeah. And eating freeze-dried meals, to be blunt, it gives you gas, attracts bears, it's ugly.
It gets you sick.
Yeah,
it's gross.
Gives you a headache. So investigating on the internet and around, I decided that I would experiment with just dehydrating my own food. So I created 8 recipes. Some of them I borrowed from the internet. If you want to go there, it's called Yummy Meals, Yummy Food. And if you go there, you can find that. Anyways, so I adapted some of those. This is enough to feed 4 people, but because we're going to be hiking, we're going to divide it into thirds, give us a little extra boost. Each one's going to be somewhere between about 300 to 400 calories per person as we cook this up. Okay. So we'll just cook it one big pot. We'll divide it up. So first one we have is Thai peanuts and noodles. Lots of nuts in there for energy. Next we have spaghetti. There's dried mushrooms. There's dried hamburger in there and spices. We have curry rice, chicken and cashews. Those nuts really help out a lot. Couscous, chicken and vegetables. I get the vegetables. I tried doing it myself. It takes such a long time. There's places on the web that you can get vegetables pretty inexpensive. So that's why I did it this year. Couscous, apricots, macadamia nuts, and chicken. Then we have fiesta rice, corn, and chicken. We have Alfredo noodles and chicken. And then lastly, we have elk stew. Last year I got an elk. I dehydrated the elk meat, added noodles and potatoes.
Where'd you shoot the elk at?
I shot the elk about 100 yards right off my deck.
That's
there.
so awesome. We're eating elk meat harvested from your land.
Yeah. And the first night, what we love to do, it's become a tradition, is we freeze a steak. This happens to be a ribeye steak. We freeze it so it lasts on the hot trail. When we get up there, it's thawed. We put it on a stick, put spices on it, and we kick back, relapse on that first night, and just give ourselves a boost of energy with this protein and calories. This steak here is about 380.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And we buy potatoes in a bag.
That's right.
It's good stuff.
Hashtag steak on a stick. We always stick a Y stick and cook it right over the fire. Yeah. And then so there's the food, right? So this is enough. We're talking about 2,500 calories a day or so that we're going to be consuming. Plus we're going to have our fly rods, and we're hopefully going to supplement our meal as much as we can with fresh caught trout. There's about maybe, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 250 calories for a fresh caught trout. And then we got some snares, hopefully catch some small game. That'd be kind of fun to eat some rabbits. So we should be able to supplement our meals well. But in addition to just eating the food to keep you alive, we sometimes like to have little pleasure items, comfort items. So Elijah, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the first thing that we're doing for our comfort items is, it's kind of a tradition between my father and I, our salted nut rolls, my bad. These salted nut rolls they're delicious, but every time we've gone and done something outdoorsy or fun and adventurous in that outdoors, me and my dad have always brought these Pearson's salted nut rolls with us, and they're full of calories, but they're also a tradition. That's what makes it awesome.
When you eat them, it's like listening to a song that takes you back. When you take a bite into a Pearson's nut roll, it's like, oh, I'm ready to go on an adventure.
Yeah, it's great. And then on top of that, we like to bring sunflower seeds. Chewing something on the trail is nice. Keeps you occupied. Keeps your mouth doing something. They're great. Give you actually quite a bit of calories too. 190 calories per serving of these things. So these are awesome to bring with.
Comfort item I'm going to talk about is pipe tobacco. I love pipe tobacco because you don't inhale it. You roll the smoke around your mouth. It's something when you get to the campfire after a long day. I love to just sit and smoke a pipe. So I went ahead in Milwaukee where I live. I visited a local tobacco shop called Yuli's. I've got 3 different aromatic blends that I love. I got this old pipe I've had for many years and a Zippo and my little pipe tool. And there's nothing like sitting around the campfire after a long day, toking on a pipe, looking at the beautiful mountains. And then Russ has our last comfort item.
When you get up there, it's been a long, hot day, but in the mountains of Montana, anyways, it cools down into the 40s at night. So you have a little brisk, right when the sun's going down, and you're sitting around the fire, having your pipe. But it's always nice to have a little warmer upper. And this year we have Templeton Rye. And we also got a flask because it makes a mess. You don't want this leaking through your packs. So we got this flask. Sit back, have just enough to warm you up, warm your stomach. It helps you relax, and then you can hit the sack.
Hit the hammock, sleep, and get up and do it all over again.
Yeah.
For 11 days in a row. Hey, we're really glad you tuned in. We're looking forward to sharing with you every day about it. We're going to publish a vlog about our trip. Really excited about that. Thanks for tuning in.